So for this video, we're going to work on chapter 6.1. We're working on finding radicals and setting those up in fraction form and in radical form. So when they give you n equals 3 and a equals negative 125, what they really want you to do is they want you to use there it is, a with the root n. So right here what we have is negative 125 with a cube root. You can type that into your calculator. The way you type it in is hitting 3 math 5. You can only do negatives with odd roots. So when you do that, you're going to get negative 5 as your answer. Looking at number 2, you have a equals negative 400, where n equals 2. So right here you have an even root with a negative a. So what's going to happen is you're going to get an error. The reason why is you cannot take the square root of a negative number. So this one is in fact no solution. I'll give you a few minutes to copy that, and then I'll keep moving in the video to numbers 3. For number 3, you have a is 64, when you have n is 6. So what this one looks like is whenever you type it into the calculator, you're going to do 6 math, that says math, 5. That's how you type it into the calculator, and when you do, you get 2. Anytime you do an even root, you need to go ahead and put a plus or minus. Anytime there's an even root, you need a plus or minus. Take a few seconds to copy that before I keep moving on to 4 through 7. So for numbers 4 through 7, what these look like is a raised to the m over n. And what that looks like whenever you put it in radical form is you still have a to the nth root, but all of that is actually raised to the power of m. So all you're doing is converting from fraction form, fractional radicals to actual radicals. So for number 1, what you're going to have is 64. And when it says it has a 2 right here, in most cases you really don't need to write the 2. It's an assumed 2. However, we'll leave it there for this case. And then what you have an exponent of 1. Also, in most cases you do not need to write the 1. So what this would actually look like is just the square root of 64. You all know the square root of 64 is 8. And anytime you have an even root, it's plus or minus. For number 5, you have negative 27. And then you have your n is 3. Whenever your m is 1, you really don't need to write it because you don't need to write the exponent of 1. You can put negative 27 into your calculator and hit 3 math 5 and then type negative 27. Anytime you're using a root other than 2, you need to do that root math 5. And you get negative 3 as your answer. You can only have a negative root as long as it is an odd power. For number 6, what you have is you have 32. It's a root 5 raised to the power of 7. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to type in 5 math 5 into your calculator and realize that the 5th root of 32 is 2. And you still have that raised to the 7th. So when you type that into your calculator, you just hit 2 raised to the 7th. You use the caret button underneath clear and you get 128. So that's it for this video. I'll go and let you take a second and catch up on writing all that down.